Hi, I'm Tony.
And I'm Joni. Welcome to Creekside Maples. We're so glad you're here.
We had some questions come in about my maple syrup operation, my setup, my evaporator. So I'm going to do a quick walk around to show everybody the evaporator that I built. So don't go anywhere. We're coming right back with what we call
Keeping it hot.
Life at full boil. We'll see you in just a sec. Well, hi folks, I'm Tony, my wife Joni there behind the camera, and welcome back to Creekside Maples Homesteading. I thought today we would give you a little walk around of our maple syrup evaporator. I know the season is getting on in some places, but it's just in full swing in other places, so we thought we'd just give you a little information here on what we use. I built this evaporator this year. I started with just an old furnace oil drum or barrel, tank, whatever you want to call it, and you can see all kinds of designs on YouTube all over. There's all kinds of people making these, but this is the kind we made, and it works really efficiently. And so what I started with was the oil tank itself, and then from there I cut the top of it off of here. We're gonna have to stop for a minute. My dogs just took off. So pause the video, dear. Okay, sorry about that interruption there, folks. I have two dogs here. They're purebred hunt dogs, and they love chasing squirrels. And my oldest one just seen a squirrel over there in the trees, so she kind of figured it was her job to go chase the squirrel, so I had to go get her. If it didn't, they'd be all over the place. But as I was saying, this here furnace oil tank, we started by just cutting partial top of it off here, leaving this much. And one thing I found is it's important to, before you do anything else with it, once you get it cut open, build a really good hot fire in it, because that'll burn all that old oil smell, all that old residue. That all burns out when you build a hot fire in it. Just let it burn. Light her up, pile a bunch of wood in her, and walk away if it's safe to. If not, grab a lawn chair and watch it burn. But anyhow, after we did that, then we started laying it out, measuring it, and all those sort of things. And I just kind of put some angle iron on top of here, which you can see, welded that all in for my pan to sit on. And then I come up here, and I had another interruption. My phone rang, so I had to take a phone call. Anyhow, where I left off was stovepipe flange right here. You can get this flange, which is pre-vent to fit on top of here, and the door that we put in the front of it. You can get those on Amazon. They're $124 for the kit. And you get this flange for your stovepipe to go into, the door on the front, and the legs on the bottom. And it all comes from Amazon. It's just called a barrel stove kit. And that's where you can buy that from. And then from there, we put a couple little pan keepers on the sides so your pan doesn't slide off and go anywhere. You got a damper in the pipe. And then my wife will step up here. My lovely assistant here. She's so good at this. You look in here, what we've done is we put a bulkhead right here. This goes all the way down. The bottom of that is cut to the shape of the barrel. And that goes all the way down and welded in place. And then I brought another piece straight back from here, and it creates that draft effect. And it pulls that heat, the smoke and everything, and it just flows right back up here. It's very efficient. This thing boils sap. It really just is so efficient the way we've got it set up here. One thing I probably will do is run a piece of its stove door gasket, and I'll probably just put that around that, but it really doesn't matter much. I see some people do that. I didn't, and it still works great. Now for heat, to keep the outside from rusting out and going to pieces, what I did here, there is sand. I put about an inch and a half of sand on top of this piece of steel here, so that it would stop the heat from being wasted. And then the sides are all lined with you know, stove bricks and fire bricks and all that, so that all works good. And then down here, if you can see it, I'm not sure, but there's a grate I built there, and that's my firebox right here, all lined with fire bricks. A couple of broken falling out, but that's no big deal. And then my grate where the wood sets on is right there. Now we're going to back up here and go to the front, Just make sure my wife doesn't fall off the side of the little deck here. I'm going to open this door. And I don't know, there's our dog. She's going to step down. And right inside there, you can see our draft. And then in here's our grate. And then one thing I did, a lot of people didn't do, but I did it, is you have to get rid of your ashes. And so what I've done is I've put a little ash clean out there, and it also acts as a secondary airflow. And all I do, I had this old drawer, and so I just set that right there, and I have this ash clean out thing that you can buy at the hardware store, and it's as simple as that. And I know some guys have made these and they've struggled. How are we going to get the ashes cleaned out? Well, this is the answer. Put yourself a little door right in the front, and you can clean all those ashes out real easy, just like that. It's that simple. Just pull them right out of there, and you'll want to keep it cleaned out pretty good so that your firebox has lots of airflow, because that's going to keep your fire burning really hot, and that's what you want. Now down here at our sugar shack, we're going to go all solar. We don't have it hooked up yet. We don't have the generator down here anymore. We don't have electricity down here. But if we did, we could always hook up a blower on that through this bottom vent. But you can also get a 12-volt DC blower, I guess, and any way you want to do it. But honestly, I've never needed a secondary blower because it burns really, really efficiently, really, really hot, and works really, really good. And just like that, the ashes are cleaned out. We'll dump those here in a minute. So that's that. My dog wants to say hello. Now if you come back here, one thing I've learned is that you don't want cold sap going into a boiling pan, because you'll lose your efficiency for keeping that boil going. So what I did is I took, I believe this is a 5/16. I thought it was a 3/8, but it's not. It's 5/16 flexible copper tubing. Buy it at the hardware store by the foot. I think it's $1.29 a foot. And I just took that and wrapped that around there. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 13 wraps around there. And each wrap takes about 20 inches of copper tubing. So I just bought a roll that was about 35 feet long. I wrapped it around, and I put a little tap here. It's a little shut off. You just open it, and that trickles into my back pan, part of my baffled pan that sits here. Matter of fact, I'll show you. Let me get the pan. So the pan just sits right on there like that. This is the back, middle, front. The neat thing about a baffled pan, it's got these little channels cut out at the corners. You can see one here, and there's another one over the other side. So what happens is, if you come back here now, you can see as I turn this open, sap will run into here. Now once this fire is burning, that sap will come out of there hot. And so that keeps everything boiling at a full capacity the way it should. And from there, I just brought it up to here. And this is our holding tank, our reservoir. It holds 300 gallons. And then on top of that, I just have a regular tote. You can buy that tote anywhere. If you want to step around here, get a better shot of that. You can buy that tote anywhere. and I just put a bulkhead fitting in it with another screw-in fitting to bring it down to fit this, and just put some compression fittings on there to tighten it all in. And this holds about 20-25 gallons, so I just fill that up and I let that trickle into my pan. I don't have to worry about it. It just works so efficiently and keeps everything going. I put a tap down here so that I can draw this off. This is already pre-filtered before it ever goes in here, and it's filtered again as it goes in here, filtered off of the stove or off of the evaporator, then filtered twice inside. So we're filtering a lot to get all those minerals and all that sugar, sand, and all that stuff out of it. So it works really efficiently, and so that's what it looks like. We just thought we'd give everybody a little tour of how this works. I'm putting a fire on here in just a few minutes. This here is our draw off. I have a filter that sits right here. Matter of fact, I'll get it for you. You're wondering, how am I going to hold the filter? This is nothing more than a trash bag holder from Canadian Tire. $16.99, and you can have it. And then I just took some copper tube. What I did was cut the ends. You can see how I cut the ends. And the ends just fit right over there, just like that. In here, just like that. And this goes on here, and this one on here. And my filter, it has those little ears on the filter. I just slide this through the ear on this side, this through the ear on this side of the filter, and the same thing using these short pieces. And the filter just hangs right down in here. And then I have my draw-off pot right there, my finish pot, and I just keep that there as this heats, because as you understand, the density of the sap gets heavier and moves forward, so that this pushes into here and then pushes into here, but they won't mix. This is where I draw off the sap when it gets to about 216 degrees. I put it in here, and then we go from there. And we're going to go inside. If I can get my wife to follow me. And this is our finisher. So this is our finish pot. We've already got syrup in here. So I'm going to take this syrup and this pot, we'll set it on our finisher. Let's see if we can get our lid up here. Just like that. This goes over here. And that will begin to boil, and then we'll finish it off right there. So that basically is how we get from the sap over here to this. This here is just kind of a quick snapshot, a little bit of how we do our sap here. It's very efficient, works really well. Obviously, we're not a 10,000 gallons of sap operation, but we'll end up doing probably 400 to 500 gallons of sap this season, which will give us quite a bit of syrup. So we're happy about it. But for now, that's how we do our sap. And we'll check back with you later. But thanks for watching. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button and hit that thumbs up, that like button. Help us get to our first 1,000 subscribers, because we're excited. We're just getting started. It's fun. We're going to share with you lots of stuff. Already people are shouting at us ideas of what they like to see, and we're going to try to do all those ideas and make them really fun for everybody. So come along for the journey. Thanks for visiting us here at Creekside Maples Homesteading, and we'll get back to you with another video very soon. Take care. God bless. Enjoy life. Love each other. And live to the best of your ability.